morning everyone, welcome back to our Orchids in Malaysia channel. I am Paphiopedilum, your host for today. So today, we will talk about Paphiopedilum nivueum. Paphiopedilum nivueum is a species of orchid. It is best known on Pulau Langkawi, Kedah, a group of islands off the coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Overcollecting of this island has made the species quite scarce. Today, we will interview some people that know more details about Paphiopedilum nivueum. I will pass to Nurin Nazar to interview people at the site.
Thank you, Chempaka. So today we are at one of the places that cultivates P. nivueum for its conservation. Before I begin, I would like to bring your attention towards the taxonomy of this species. Paphiopedilum nivueum is categorized under the kingdom Plantae. For its phylum, it would be phylum Magnoliophyta, class Liliopsida, order Aspergilles, family Orchidaceae, subfamily Cypripedidae, genus Paphiopedilum, and finally its species Paphiopedilum nivueum. Today we have with us Dr. Ahmad Shamimi, who is an orchidologist and also an expert on the Paphiopedilum nivueum species. Doctor, could you please elaborate on the geographic range of which you can find Paphiopedilum nivueum species in?
Alright, Nani. So basically, Paphiopedilum nivueum is primarily found in the Southeast Asia, which is ranged between two main regions, Southern Thailand and Peninsular Malaysia.
Could you elaborate on the specific locations from within these countries?
Alright, Nani. So basically, in Southeast Thailand, we can find this species on the southeast provinces. Meanwhile, in the Peninsular Malaysia, it's spread across the lowland near the limestone outcrops.
Okay, what about the current conservation current conservation status of the Paphiopedilum nivueum species?
According to the IUCN Red List, this species was listed as endangered species.
Can you explain why it's classified as endangered?
A few reasons why this species was listed as endangered species. The first reason is because over-collection. The wild population of the orchid has significantly decreased due to the over-collection, particularly on Pulau Langkawi and a group of islands off the coast of Peninsular Malaysia.
And what about the second reason?
So the second reason is because of habitat destruction. Forest degradation, tropical mountain forests can reduce the diversity of orchid species, including the Paphiopedilum nivueum species. This loss of habitat has greatly impacted its survival in the wild.
Right, that is correct. This beautiful flower, highly sought after for its stunning appearance, is not the only species threatened by habitat destruction. In fact, the leading cause for extinction in both animal and plant species would be habitat loss. So, how can we take action on this? Paphiopedilum nivueum is under significant threat due to illegal harvesting and habitat destruction. Today, we'll explore two main strategies that conservationists are using to protect this species: in situ and ex situ conservation. In situ conservation is all about protecting P. nivueum in its natural environment. We monitor wild populations and safeguard the areas where they grow. By keeping the orchids in their natural habitat, we maintain ecological balance, preserve biodiversity, and prevent illegal harvesting. It's crucial because these orchids are a key part of their ecosystem. When that's not enough, or when the orchids need extra help, that's where ex situ conservation comes in. It's a strategy that involves growing P. nivueum in controlled environments, like botanical gardens and orchid nurseries. These are often found in places like northern Malaysia and southern Thailand. By cultivating them in these protected spaces, we take the pressure off wild populations. Paphiopedilum nivueum is listed under Appendix 1 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, otherwise known as CITES. This means that the commercial trade of these orchids collected from the wild is banned. On top of that, Malaysia's Wildlife Conservation Act 2010 enforces strict penalties for illegal collection, trade, or habitat destruction. These laws help ensure that conservation efforts are upheld. By the way, do you want to know more about P. nivueum's habitat? Let's find someone who can tell us more. We are here now with Mr. Zulkifli, a conservation officer at the Langkawi UNESCO Global Geopark. So, Mr. Zul, could you explain what the natural habitat of Paphiopedilum nivueum looks like?
Certainly. Paphiopedilum nivueum actually grows at elevation of 200 to 1,000 meters above the sea level. It often thrives in mossy, limestone and rocky areas.
I see. That's interesting. So what about the environmental conditions that it requires to thrive?
It prefers a cool and moisture condition with indirect light. You will commonly find this species in an understory or near the sea level, the forest floor, which is shaded but still have a light and humidity that they need.
Okay, so does that mean that humidity is a huge factor?
Yes, certainly. This species need a high humidity level to survive, typically and ideally in the 60s to 80% range. This humidity is essential for their survivability.
I see. Good information, Mr. Zul. Thank you for explaining the environmental conditions needed by P. nivueum so clearly. Earlier I explained about in situ conservation. It helps keep the orchids safe in the wild. But what about the people living near these habitats? How do they fit in the people?
Well, the people is actually really important in our works. For example, we work with local communities to raise awareness so that they can understand that this orchid is actually important and the need for its sustainable habitat management. So when we work with the residents, with the local communities, we actually share and create the responsibility for protecting the ecosystem, so that we actually further strengthening our own conservation efforts.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Zul. How about the ecology of P. nivueum in relation to the ecosystem this species resides in? Could you tell us more?
Absolutely. Actually, Paphiopedilum nivueum ecology is actually really interesting and fascinating. Let me break it down into 3 key aspects for a better understanding. Firstly, it has a symbiotic relationship with mycorrhizal fungi. The orchids actually really depends on this fungi for germination. So it forms a mutualistic relationship with them. Do you know the shape of this flower? It actually resembles the lady slipper. This shape actually is specific to attract the pollinators. And on the other hand, like any other orchids, this species actually really have a vibrant color to attract the pollinators, and as a result, it will continue to survive.
And does it interact with other plants or organisms in its environment?
Yes, it often grows in the microhabitats with ferns, moss and other epiphytes. Because they actually grows in the similar habitats, similar ecosystem, thus give a supportive environment for this species, Paphiopedilum nivueum.
I see. That's truly remarkable. Thank you for sharing such detailed insights. Wrapping up from the facts and insights of this endangered flower, Paphiopedilum nivueum is a rare orchid found in limestone areas at elevations of 200 to 1,000 meters in Pulau Langkawi, Malaysia. It depends on mycorrhizal fungi for nutrient absorption and attracts pollinators with its unique flower. Its habitat is frequently threatened by quarrying and deforestation. Therefore, conservation efforts for this unique plant must include in situ and ex situ protection, cultivation in nurseries, and advanced propagation. P. nivueum is also under legal protection as it is listed under CITES and Malaysia's Wildlife Conservation Act. Public education campaigns should also be enforced to highlight its endangered status towards young minds. That is all from us. Passing on to you,
Paphiopedilum nivueum. This student explained about how we conserve the orchids, but let me explain a little bit more how to conserve it. Limestone habitat home to the rare Paphiopedilum nivueum are facing serious threats due to human activities. Quarrying for building materials and cutting down trees for farming and development are damaging these ecosystems. Because of their importance and the danger they face, These habitats are highlighted as priority areas for protection under Malaysian National Policy on Biodiversity (NPBD) 2016 until 2025. In an effort to raise awareness, campaigns are being held to educate the public about the importance of Paphiopedilum nivueum and the threats it faces. These campaigns aim to highlight the plant's endangered status and its crucial role in the ecosystem. Schools, universities, and local communities are actively involved through workshops, exhibitions, and interactive programs, helping to spread the message about the need to protect this rare species. The goal is to inspire a sense of responsibility in people, encouraging them to take action in preserving these unique habitats and the species that rely on them. So, that is the information about Paphiopedilum nivueum. Thank you for listening to our channel. Stay tuned for the next info.